He's selective memory here.
Selective memory or selectively
So we started the last game after you guys met with Landolini, the criminal boss of the islands. Landolini was kind of threw a deal out your way to see if you guys would be willing to go after one of the nobles and kind of investigate him and bring back some finger knives that Landolini used. You started the game by heading down towards the docks. As you got to the docks, you started looking for somebody that essentially could take you out to a smuggler ship that was in port, but not actually up against any of the docks or available. So you found a kind of punkish looking elf with braids done up in ram's horns, known as the Ram. And our good friend Locke over there convinced him that it was in his best interest to let you guys borrow his boat. So the four of you, I guess Steve wasn't there right away, went out in this tiny little dinghy and decided you were going to sneak up on a ship of smugglers and thieves. You got up to the very base of the ship, at which point Rick, our good friend Decimus, fell into the water, and Rogar decided to save him.
It was so
and
good.
epically failed the strength check for the paladin. He was obviously feeling a little nauseous from the waves, because clearly there's no other explanation why a hulking beast like Rogar would not be strong enough to cling to the boat. So both of you went under, while our good friend Jack became a giant spider and charged the enemies, not realizing that he was mostly alone.
He wasn't supposed to be. Wasn't supposed to be mostly alone.
He got about 2 rounds of combat in before he realized he had to turn around, as Locke was trying to help you guys up.
So good.
Eventually, the whole party made it to the dock, or made it aboard the ship. After some rousing combat, everybody did A-OK, and you were able to capture the captain of the vessel and tie him up with a magical rope. Captain Rufus, White Eye. So Captain Rufus said that he would be happy to heal you, because Rick looked like he was definitely hurt.
I was dead.
If you would just, you were breathing, you were definitely alive and talking. Dead is very different.
Dead is not moving.
In fact, you weren't even unconscious. You were conscious. You were able to move about the building. You were good to go. Dead is actually 3 death saves and sitting out on the corner.
Fair. But I felt like I was dead.
Captain Rufus, then getting his implement back, took his implement and opened a small portal into the Shadow Realm and stepped through.
And by implement, you definitely mean his penis.
Definitely his penis, if that makes you feel better. I mean, whatever gets you there, brother. I don't want you to feel bad about anything.
Eyeballs.
You have a boat, you have a location, and the Ram started sailing towards the island that the smugglers call home. And that is where we find ourselves right now.
So apparently we're sailing towards... We're on a boat.
You are, in fact, on a boat. 2010 called, though, and asked why you're making that reference. That is Rick's phase spider.
That's right.
Yeah, that's definitely not an enemy.
Not right now. Owen's got to play his cards right, or else.
It's my familiar. I mean, do I have to maintain that?
No, I'm just fucking with you,
okay.
Jim.
Wait, just so I know.
Owen.
Furiously looking up the spell.
I am mostly threatening Owen that the spider would attack him. But...
I mean, that's fair.
Why would the spider attack me? I was a bigger spider than him.
So yeah, it'll be a couple hours till you get to the island, but it will not be enough for a long rest.
So short rest.
I think we did a short rest.
We did a short rest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I threw all my hit dice.
You have
Don't
like
worry,
2. That
there's
doesn't
no
count.
fighting on the island. You'll be fine.
When the DM smiles, you're already fucked.
Hey, I didn't hear any dice rolls, so we're fine.
Mostly true. The sea is choppy, but it's nice, kind of middle of the afternoon day. The ram is in high spirits as he now has a brand new boat.
And a dinghy.
And he is essentially your indentured servant now, running your boat for you where you want it to go, et cetera, et cetera. But he seems very happy at the prospect of doing this. He has quite the sailor's tune in his throat. He is definitely singing along. And he does have to ask you guys to man the ropes. Unless you want to stop and let him get his crew.
I'm man enough for these ropes. With my -1 strength.
I was about to say, I think there was a storm cleric that might have said something very similar at one point, and shit went real far south.
Yeah, need I remind you, Decimus is the best sailor I know.
I think you're thinking of my other character there, Mike.
Nope, I made the argument that you're the best sailor I know.
He doesn't know a lot of sailors.
I mean, that's true.
I was trying, but, well, I'm motion over to the ram. He thinks you're the best sailor I know.
Oh, okay.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah, totally.
All right, to get you guys there, we got to see some checks coming. You got to tell me what you're looking to do on this boat, and get us a couple checks, skill checks, to get you guys over to the island.
I'll do a survival check to make sure we're still on course.
Sure.
Boom.
Nailed it.
Nicely done.
Nice.
We're going that way. The bad guys are in there.
You can definitely kind of gauge the wind and the sun and tell exactly where you're going.
Somebody. Oh.
Come on, knowledge monkey.
I have nature trained.
Yep.
So I would like to use nature to maybe send maybe through Paycully if he's feeling frisky, like under the boat to check the currents or see if we're just make sure that there isn't anything that's coming to eat us from below.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me a nature. Paycully's not sure how much he likes being used as bait, but he's...
No. Reconnaissance only, not bait. Reconnaissance.
I mean,
Bait.
you want to see if there's anything going to eat him. You're like, go in the
Reconnaissance.
woods.
Coming to eat us from below. Reconnaissance
He does look
only.
like a land crab. Yeah, you're able to actually get a pretty good feel for the waves and the wind and the currents and have a pretty good handle on what's going on, and you don't see anything in these waters that would be particularly dangerous.
Good. Nothing's coming from below to eat us, guys.
How's Decimus looking? Is he looking dirty or anything?
I feel like I'm clean.
Or
Have you done prestidigitation on yourself, Rick?
I don't have prestidigitation.
He is filthy. He is covered in caked blood.
Yeah, I was
He
gonna
has
say.
sores and weird necrotic burns. He looks awful.
What happened to me?
Disgusting. You took enough damage to knock yourself over, basically.
Oh, okay.
You're bloody as fuck.
I'm gonna walk up to Decimus and say, "Would you like that kitty cat bath now? You're not looking too good."
Don't do it. You might catch something.
Crap lines?
The ram shouts, "I think the cat might catch something."
See,
I'm gonna go to the back of the boat, back over here, and like tie a rope around my waist and jump
Please
in
don't knock me off.
Like try to jump in the water or something, or maybe there's a bucket I can grab. And
There are definitely buckets around. We're gonna go ahead and give you that one.
I can try to pull you out of the water again.
I'm just gonna tie this rope around my waist with a
Part
with a
of me
DC
wants to give you
tube.
an inspiration check for not trying to drown yourself purposely, but then I'd have to give them to everyone for not trying to drown themselves purposely.
I mean,
Well, then I also want to see like a perception check. Like, is it a shit bucket that you choose?
That's great.
it's a shit bucket.
Yeah, it's not a very good perception, brother.
It's a shit. And I rolled a 5. Like I have a +4 perception.
Jesus.
We're not terribly successful.
I mean, it is dirty city salt water, so like it's not exactly the best thing to bathe in anyway.
No.
So
Rimmed.
I'm not covered in blood anymore, but I smell like sewage.
Well, at least it was your own blood.
That makes it
without
all.
prestidigitation, anytime you guys take severe amounts of damage, you're going to have remnants of wounds after you heal yourself. I mean, you're going to look gross because you're not snapping your fingers to clean it off.
Chicks dig stars.
So after being shot down once again on the kitty cat bath, Locke, are there? I assume there's masts.
There is 2 masts, and
I'd like to climb up
Yeah.
a mast and check ropes and just make sure everything's looking good.
Do dexterous
sure.
checks.
For ropes, you can either give me your thieves' tools. That would be good for ropes. You can give me a survival for ropes. You tell me where you want to go. Make a case. I'll believe you.
Still have to roll.
Yeah. Let's do like. Can I do an intelligence sleight of hand?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Intelligent.
I mean, you could even make a dexterity sleight of hand make sense. I mean, at the end of the day, that's a lot of rope use.
All right. Well, I mean, if you'll let me do a dexterity, then I'll do that because
Yeah.
that's way better.
I mean, a lot of it's just making sure, knots are tight, everything's
Yeah.
good. That's well above average, more than slightly above average at least. So that's solid. You feel good.
All right.
Most pirates are not rolling 20. I mean, they're fucking pirates.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do have that depth perception problem.
Arr.
Okay, that is not correct. Pirates wore eye patches so they could have an above ground and a below ground, above
That's
deck and
correct.
a below deck eye patch. They didn't have depth perception if they used both eyes, and most of them had both eyes. Don't be piratist. All right, you guys are making fair. You guys are making fair speed. You're not really hitting any kind of major reef issues. You're not really getting into any kind of bad waters and stuff like that. But you are kind of leisurely going about your business that way. You got anything else for me to get you there?
This is the Rams' first time really piloting this boat, right?
Are you asking him?
No, I mean, like, because we just gave him this boat. I mean, this is right.
That's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
Unless he was in league with the pirates.
I don't have much knowledge, but I was hoping to be able to use maybe charisma to kind of help bolster his confidence.
Excellent. You're going to coach him. I like it.
Yay! I don't know anything about boats.
We have
Yay!
Rogar, the motivational speaker.
Yes.
You too can go from fisherman to captain in just one day.
Living in a van down by the river.
Program. All right, give me a persuasion or a performance, your choice.
Let me make sure I'm selected here.
My 7-step program. You go from fishmonger to captain of the 7 seas.
Oh, that's pretty good persuasion.
That's awesome. He is feeling good. He is feeling hype. He needs a Mountain Dew.
He believes the shit out of you.
I do not have that on me.
He is.
You do
feeling
not need the Mountain Dew.
so
The Mountain Dew is inside you already.
These are not the soft drinks you're looking for.
All right, you guys had 2 over 20, so those both counted for double. You got 6 wins. You are definitely on your way to the island. As you guys approach, the island is this awfully tiny, middle of nowhere island. You can kind of see here this fort. The fort, the bottom layer looks nice and fortified. The top looks like it's halfway dead. And this island is actually shorter than the main islands you're in. Most of the islands rise up a good couple hundred feet before you start seeing the cities and kind of the buildings that you work and live on. This is well below what you're used to seeing. And you can imagine that this island probably gets submerged over bad tides. This looks like a really dangerous place to build a structure. If you were really into civic engineering, you would be concerned that this is the wrong place to put some kind of hideout.
Jack, this sounds like your kind of deal.
You're an urban person that likes to build trees and stuff, but
do you have a yellow bucket of paint somewhere?
This might be a code violation, Jack.
I think they used the wrong trees. It does not look weather-ready.
The island itself is tiny. There's very little space outside of this small building. And if you weren't looking for it, you can tell this would be fairly easy to miss. There's bushes and stuff like that. It looks like an old fort, maybe 100 years old, that hasn't been used lately.
Must have some strategic reference. I don't understand.
Do we see any sentries or anything?
From here, you can't really see anything. Rogar's got a great persuasion. Oh, that's a persuasion. Excuse me. I thought that was perception. You don't see anything over here, really. Everything seems okay.
And these are the guys that stole from Leilani. No,
Landolini?
Landolini.
No, these are the guys that were stealing children.
These are children guys.
Right.
These are the people that were kidnapping children and somehow taking them off the islands. And you don't know where they're taking them, but you got the boat. You found the boat empty. It had a compartment where children were obviously kept, but there were no children there. So you figured out where their hideout was, and you were also told that they probably had they didn't run children every day. It was more of a weekly or a couple times a month kind of scenario. So the children kind of had to have some sort of holding place. You don't know for sure that this fort is the holding place, but this is your best guess so far.
We can go pick them up and take them home.
We lost Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. He's back.
He's back.
That was quick.
sorry.
We missed you.
Wrong
I
button.
just slammed my
Other button.
laptop lid down. I got really mad.
Dude, I was saying some shitty stuff. I get it.
Yep.
All right, so
you guys want me to set? I mean, it's all looks like it's like dry wood on top. You want me to set it on fire?
You
Always
need to
with
find a
fire.
new shtick.
Always
Why does it always have to be fire?
I mean,
Just because it's wood.
I'm an evoker. I like fire. I set it on fire.
You're a cloistered scholar. You have candles.
Candles burn?
Wait, I thought that it was a sailor.
No,
He's a nerd.
Nerds.
I was kind of kidding about setting stuff on fire.
And I can always sneak up and survey things.
Cool.
We can do that. We can act like we're to pick up the children and just take the children.
The nice thing is the boat is their boat. Or at least was running their stuff. I mean, it is... The bad thing is you have no idea where the captain may have gone in that little shadow portal he made.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. There is that.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys want to try to bluff our way in? We can totally do that.
I don't talkie so well.
We got
much
Sneaky
for lie.
McSneakerson and Charisma.
I can
guy there.
lie very well.
Let's do that.
You see me motion next to me and kind of like pat the deck, act like I'm gonna pet you.
My problem with that is my bond is kind of preventing me from just flat out lying to people, even if it is scum like this.
Oh,
No,
you don't need to say
lie.
anything.
They'll just start asking him questions. They're like, "So, Paladin, what are you doing here?"
Just tell them you like kids. That's
true,
believable
right?
for religious people, right?
I mean, it's factually accurate. You like children, don't you, Rogar?
Looking for altar boys. I mean,
He is the Order of Catholic.
This is gonna go poorly.
well, we got a paladin.
There is a dock up ahead, but the dock is unmanned, and the dock is as rickety as the building appears.
I mean, we could use the dinghy.
You could set that on fire.
As you guys get closer, you notice there's a distinct lack of life, movement, etc. on here.
This whole place is just vacant.
It looks incredibly vacant, yeah.
Well, I rolled a survival of 23. Like, is this like a strategic significance as far as the island, or is it just like out of the way?
Your guess that at one point this might have been some kind of strategic place. This might have been a gathering point for some kind of fisherman or some kind of naval army.
Strategic.
But at this point, it does not look that way. If anything, this would have been like a refueling, restocking kind of facility. The other islands kind of loom up above it, but it would be very easy to transport stuff from those islands down to here, even with cables, potentially.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Decimus, do you know that it's that spell that you can talk to people in their heads, and you send it and you talk and we talk, and I don't know what you call it in your
squig squeak squeak.
I don't believe that's what it is, but the scholarly people.
Squeak.
The spell is called sending, and unfortunately, I have not learned that spell. I've seen it done, but I have not learned that spell. I have message.
That would be very helpful.
I have a cantrip that I can do that's message, but it has to be somebody I know, and it has to be line of sight. So it's much more limited.
Oh, so you're saying if I jumped the ship and I swam across and checked things out, and if I could see you,
yeah,
or
if I know where you are, yeah.
And could I talk back?
As long you have to actually whisper, but yes, I can hear you.
You gotta talk real low.
But you actually have to make noise. With sending, you can just telepathically communicate. There's no noise required. But with message, you have to actually talk.
The general lack of people makes me nervous, and
Agreed.
I don't know if we want to dock until we know what we're dealing with.
Andrew, is there any life around? Like any like birds or anything like that, or is it just like completely just like nothing?
You might see some seagulls and stuff like that, pecking at some like albacore and shit on the ground. But this is such low tide, you don't think that a lot of plants can stay here? Because you think that they probably get sucked up by the salt water pretty fast. There are some weeds and vines and crap up by the building, but the building's at the highest point. There might be some sea lions around somewhere you hear barking. You just don't see them right in front of you.
And is it the middle of the day?
It is. Well, it's probably like 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Something like that, so early evening.
Why don't you go check it out, Locke? I'll do the old message so you can tell me what you see.
I can do that.
You're sneaky as fuck, right?
Some would say that I have a 10 in stealth.
10! Motherfucker, 10!
I still got wood.
I still got wood.
Some might say that.
Miss Davis, you go prom with me.
Dude, I would go prom with her. I would not say no.
Now, swimming I'm not so great at, but, I can swing it.
So, I may be able to help with that? Never mind. Nope.
How hard can it be?
Don't get the ick on you. If I roll... Arcana, can I tell if there's ick in the water? Like
Sure.
the black stuff?
Dude, that's great. You don't seem to see any.
Okay.
You also need to remember you have that special spell that allows you to see in the shadow realm.
Yeah.
You can always use that anytime you're concerned about added shadow issues. Shadow stuff will seem a lot brighter, bigger, and more impressive on the other side of the veil.
How close are we to the fortress?
You can be as close or as far as you guys want to be right now.
I would really like to be within range of that shadow sight. I think that would be
I think that's
super
60
cool.
feet.
Says 10 minutes. I did not write down a range because I put it for self. So
Okay. We'll go ahead and make it 120 feet even for you. That's fine. That's like
Okay.
super dark vision, basically.
I don't have it prepared, so I'm gonna have to cast it as a ritual.
Right.
But I can totally do that.
And you guys got time. I mean, as far as you can tell, there's no hurry.
So I'll take some incense and light it, and sketch out a quick charcoal circle. So I feel like charcoal is probably more
Sure.
probably better than chalk for this. So I'll make a quick circle and just cast shadow sight on myself.
How long does that take?
It takes 10 minutes.
About 8 minutes into your ritual, I jump off board and start swimming.
Oh, fuck
Okay.
me.
You do still have the dinghy if you wanted to take a dinghy instead of a...
No.
Okay. Rick, the building itself is about 50 feet up into the center of this island. So to get the building, you'll have to be pretty well close to docking. So
I'm gonna take the dinghy after I cast the shadow sight on myself.
Okay.
Take the dinghy. Rogar, Jack, do you guys want to come with me? I need to get a little closer so I can see the fortress.
I'll join you on the dinghy and be more than happy to paddle.
Okay. The ram says, "Arr, I'll be nearby, but this is dangerous. I really don't get it, dude. Be careful. This is a bad area. There's all kinds of rocks jutting up and stuff like that." He goes, "The dock seems safe, but arr, I'm working on my pirate. Arr, yeah, I'm not great at it yet, but I'll get it down. Don't worry." The dock seems safe, but everything else looks really hard to get to, and I'm gonna have to steer kind of clear. So
Yeah.
you're gonna need to make it very obvious that you're on the dock for me to come get you.
We still have the poppers, right?
You do, yep.
Can I show him that and say, hey, we'll
Sure.
use this?
Sure, you will look for those then, yeah.
Why aren't we docking again?
Because a boat with a draw this deep can't get that close to the dock. There's reefs and jagged rocks and stuff. See, I do know sailing stuff.
You do. This is a nasty bit of sea right here. This is that kind of brackish area that's in between good and really, really bad. It's like the cliff kind of fell into the water. It's not really like ocean right where you were at. So it looks like it'd be really easy for smugglers to kind of go in between some of these jagged rocks in a small, quick ship and avoid some of the constabulary in their larger boats and stuff like that.
Do I think there's going to be anything like crazy as far as under the water with like the way this is kind of set up? I'm just thinking of not getting into anything else. Hopefully it's just minnows, but
Well, to be fair, it will get me before it gets you.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, and Locke jumped out 2 minutes before you guys are even doing this. So, Locke, go ahead and give me some athletics. Give me 4 athletics checks. Oh, that is a bad start.
Let's try again.
Really bad start.
Okay, Locke starts drowning.
Come back,
you're able to correct yourself. I need 3 successful checks now, on top of the one to get you not dead. Oh, that is unsuccessful. You're having another little bit of a drowning fit. Go ahead and give me another, see if you can get yourself out of it. Okay, 13 gets yourself out of it. I need another 1, 2, 3. I need another one here to get you safe.
Hey!
Okay. You have a couple spots where you can tell you're not exactly the strongest swimmer, but for the most part, it's heavy seas. There's big waves. There's salt water in your mouth. You are a cat.
Cats don't like water.
You make it to the shore. You make it into kind of a rocky ledge that you can kind of duck behind some outcroppings. You figure like that's a good place to start your journey.
Yep. So as soon as I get on land, I do the cat shake thing and like try and get the water off as much as I can and curse the water.
So it actually took you about 2 minutes to get there because of your little hiccups here and there. So they're just getting ready to start getting into the boat as you're getting up there. So go ahead and tell me what you're doing as they're loading the boat up.
So following the shadows as much as I can. I want to get up as close to the dock as I can, and then moving across the way. I want to see what's going on the dock and then get closer to the fortress itself.
All right. There's a path leading up from the dock to the fortress. Going clear across the top. Everything seems to be going real easy that way if you want to take the path. Otherwise, you got kind of crappy rocks and stuff like that. You can make it. It'll just be difficult terrain. You'll be slower.
Yeah, I'd stick to the rocky path. I like I said, I kind of want to stick to the shadows and stay hidden as much as possible.
That works for me, brother. So real fast, I will grab you, and I am going to throw you onto another map real quick.
Do you know how to just move certain people?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, I just copy-paste you. And that may be the wrong way to do it, but so far it's worked. So this is kind of where you come up. This looks dark, right? I darken things out.
Yeah,
Fog of War.
Perfect. Can you can see outside though, right? I'm good.
Yeah, I can see outside.
All right. So you guys come up to this. The building itself seems to have an open door at the very front of it.
Ooh, open door.
It's not locked though.
Not even closed, let alone locked. Just an open door.
And there is no sign of movement anywhere out here.
You have seen no sign of life, no sign of anything recent even up here. As you get closer to the building, the path looks pretty well worn, but it's really hard to tell because it's kind of a dirt and stone path when it was well worn. It could have been used a year ago. It could have been used a week ago. It could have been used 5 minutes ago. You're really having a tough time discerning it just because it is so craggy and nasty. It just doesn't hold footprints very well.
Okay. So curiosity is going to get the best of me, and I'm going to go up to the open door very sneakily and just peek inside.
Okay, go ahead and give me your stealth.
Oh.
I mean, it's above average.
But it is a crit fail.
Oh, that's a crit fail.
It is a crit fail.
Yeah, it's red. It's totally
I
red.
gotcha. Okay.
That is a crit fail.
I forget about that plus 10. Well, you get up there and essentially you kick some kind of like can, you think? You think it might actually be old food? You literally punt it. It bounces into the wall and shakes. There might have even been rocks in this can somehow.
Wow.
I mean, it almost sounds like a baby rattle. But as you get up there, you don't see anything. So you can be up to the door. You don't see any life. The room in front of you looks well used. It looks like a kind of a vestibule, a place to put your shoes, your cloak, your shit like that.
Okay. Well, after the can settles and I just get a very brief glimpse of what's inside, I am going to run kind of around so I'm going to use the distance comb here around this way.
Okay. Yeah, you get all that revealed where it is. Are you going to go all around the backside as well?
Yeah, so I want to now kind of compose myself that I'm away from the door.
Okay.
Are there any windows or anything? Or
so it looks like this place has no windows. This looks like a military fortress. Your bet is with all the weather that comes through here, stuff like that, windows wouldn't hold up well. So you see a couple arrow slits here and there, but the arrow slits are all sitting a little bit higher up, about 4 feet off the ground, 5 feet off the ground.
Okay. So I'll just make my way around the building. Again, stealthily, if possible, make my way around. And basically, I'm just going to make my way around until I get back to where I came from.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and bring the party in because they have been sailing coming your way. I assume, party, you guys are going straight to the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd come back around, right? And unless something stops me, I would motion to them that all is clear.
Nothing will stop you, but they will get right around where you are. So, Rick, with your vision, with your shadow sight, you are seeing... son of a bee. You are seeing what you can only describe as a storm almost. It feels like something is cloudy in there. It definitely feels like something more than what you've seen. You don't have a lot of experience with this shadow sight.
Does it feel like does it feel like something's keeping me from seeing?
It does. It feels like something's keeping you from seeing, but what you see here with the building is massive in the Shadowfell. So the place you're standing in front of in the Shadow Realm looks like an onyx building, almost like a monolith, just like a huge tower emerging from the ground. And you also notice there is a gate, like a doorway here. And ahead of you, at the very end of this path here, you see what can only be described as a broken rock. It looks like somebody had a statue or something like that, and it got messed up.
Is this the gate?
That is the door to the place. The gate you're seeing in the Shadow World is over here.
Okay.
And this road leads to what you can see in your regular senses as a crumbled rock. But in the Shadow World, it's a very visible gate, standing easily 20 feet tall and 10 feet wide, large enough to get creatures 3 times your size through.
Like wrought iron gate, or like giant metal doors block the gates of Mordor?
More like an onyx archway.
Okay.
With runes built into the side. So think about it like a big fucking piece of Stonehenge almost.
Okay.
Only made out of jet black onyx.
Are there doors?
It looks like a magical doorway. If you were to pick what it is.
Okay.
You would say this looks like some kind of magical portal way, but there isn't a physical manifestation on this realm.
And there's no like, it's not closed or anything. There's not like closed doors filling it up. It's just an open archway.
Just an open archway, but you don't see any magical power in the archway.
Are there guards?
You don't see any creatures.
Don't see any creatures? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So before
and as far as the building itself, you can't see through the walls of the building in the Shadow Realm either. So the cloud and the storm, it does seem like there's a lot of shadow power here, but you wouldn't be able to see through the walls either way.
Right. Guys, this place is really creepy, and it's a lot bigger in the Shadow Realm, and there's a gate that's right over there that's not powered up right now, but it looks like it's a portal for bringing in things that are nasty. And before we go any further, I'm just going to reach into my little pack, and I'm going to give a little tiny bottle to Locke and say, look, man, I know that you've got the whole...
right now. Locke is not by you right now.
He's not by me? Never mind.
Until Locke gets over by you, he cannot do any of that. And that's...
Sorry, I got to head upstairs real quick. You guys keep going. I'll try to catch up real quick. I'm sorry. I got to step away for a second.
You're fine. Get it done.
I was just going to make a joke. I'm sorry.
Gag.
I was going to give Locke a little bottle of conditioner and tell him that the salt water is going to be terrible for his fur.
It is.
You know what won't be terrible for your skin?
What's that?
A
If
little
you say
cat
kitty
saliva.
cat bath, I don't want a kitty cat bath.
Oh, baby bird.
You're the only one that doesn't want the cat bath.
That doesn't want me to have the cat bath because I fucking stink.
Yes. That's what I said.
That's awesome. So no creatures, huh?
None that you've seen. It seems eerily quiet. The stillness of this odd, craggy spot compared to the city is unsettling. You're so used to the bustle of carts and carriages, horses, things like that. Being this far from all that is very bizarre and kind of throwing you all off your game.
So I would like to, well, do I hear my friends coming down the path?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to kind of peek my head around the corner and try and get their attention by waving, and then I'm going to point up and then make a climbing motion.
I'm gonna like make
and then kind of shrug like
back at you. Like, do you want me to scratch your belly?
So I wave, I make a climbing motion, and then kind of shrug.
Locke, there would have been stairway that had kind of broken down back behind the shed. So to get up to those ramparts and stuff, there was at one point a nice stairway made of wood out here. It's completely gone to shit.
I totally get what he says.
I think he wants me to scratch his belly, and I'm confused.
I think he wants us to climb up.
I'm not climbing.
Dude, I love the idea of you guys climbing. You guys can barely fucking swim, let alone climb a fucking rock building.
Does anyone give me an affirmative nod?
I give you the thumbs up.
Then right where I'm standing, I'm gonna try and climb the wall using my cat's claws. It gives me a climb speed of 20.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. Give me the athletics, then give me a perception when you get up to the top. Oh, you don't even need an athletics. You're just climb speed.
Yep.
You got a climb speed. You just get it.
Oh man, I wasted my good roll.
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
So you get to the top and you don't really see anything. Everything seems okay. It seems normal. The spots up here all appear to be in incredible disrepair.
Okay, I'm gonna give a thumbs up to the group, like a paws up, a dew claw. Yeah, a dew claw up.
I'm gonna do the message thing that we talked about and be like, "What do you see up there, buddy?"
He's good.
I see a bunch of wood that's falling apart.
Yeah, this kind of wreckage would have been demolished and rebuilt in the main city. It's crazy. You have not seen this much saltwater damage and stuff like that. This is an awful, awful little bit of railing and such.
So I guess I'm gonna climb over the rail and hang out up top while
All right,
and continue investigating.
Where do you want to be? Give me a ping wherever you're going to be on top. Perfect.
It would be like right there.
Perfect.
Can you see the floor?
I'm standing on the floor.
No. Like, can you see down to the? You're on the roof. Can you see down to the floor? Like the main floor.
Well, I assume, like, what I kind of assume this is like a rampart above, kind of like a watch area.
100%. There's a stone roof underneath where you are. This is an all stone structure outside of the wooden ramparts on the top. This looks like a brilliantly built fortress, except for the top looks like it was kind of put on as a watchtower. It was significantly less important.
I was just wondering if you could see if there was any creatures in the past the doorway, but if he can't see it, then
he can't see through anything. Yep, it's all stone still.
Okay. So no would be the answer to my question then. Okay. Cool. Well then, I think we ought to maybe head in. Question mark?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sure. I'll jump down.
I can prep my divine sense when we walk through.
Man,
so yeah, I'll jump down and on my way to greet the party, I want to pick up the can that I kicked.
Yep.
And
it literally says food on it. It's very annoying.
And I hand it to Rogar. You look like you could use food.
It clearly no longer has food in it.
Just some sort of joke.
Worst can you've seen in a very long time.
Oh, fuck. That's awesome.
Is this a joke?
Oh, yes, it was a joke.
All right, who's the first to walk in through the open door?
I mean, it has to be Locke, right?
Of course it does.
I mean,
why not?
It's an open door.
Yeah.
I'll take you right behind him.
All right, Locke, give me a perception as you walk in.
Oh, that's gone well for me so far.
You're not terrible this time.
All right. Everything seems okay. Again, this seems like a vestibule. It seems like a nice sitting area where one can take their boots off and not get grime tracked through the home.
The boots.
Do we need to knock them?
Knock the boots.
Are you touching the doors?
I mean, I walked through the open one.
Right, but you asked if we needed to knock. The only way to know if something's locked is
the
to touch
boots.
Oh. All right,
That was a joke.
Sorry.
That was a joke.
That was also a joke.
You guys are fucking funny.
Can with no food, knocking of boots. I have this American humor thing. Much down.
Much down.
Yeah. Much funny.
It's much funny.
In Soviet Telfar, the doors knock themselves.
In Russia, we have many bombs.
It's
We
Soviet
don't know where
Russia.
they
Tanks
are.
drive you.
There is not enough beer out there to DM for you guys. All right, what do we have? What's happening?
I'm gonna push open the door in front of me.
The
Oh.
one in front of you?
Yes.
Nice. I don't have to open a door.
This one is locked. Give me an athletics check.
I mean, I'm just gonna.
Okay, you're not trying that hard.
No, I'm just like push at it.
All right.
It's
Nope,
not-
that one
it's-
is locked.
Okay. I'm gonna look over at Locke and say, "Your turn."
I'm going to check for traps.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigate on the door there.
That's not what I'm good at.
I'm good at the sneaky and
That
not
is
the
absolutely
findy thing.
fantastic. You are positive there are 0 traps on this door.
Then I am going to try and open the door, and if it's locked, I will try and pick the lock.
And this one is not locked. This one is not locked, and you're able to kind of creak it open. And get about this.
Okay. It's opening in towards the room.
Yes, in towards the new room.
Okay. I give another dew claw up and slowly make my way in.
Okay, what are you guys using as light sources now? Because like I said earlier, there's only a couple arrow slits here and there. There's not a whole lot.